Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of Noodle Journey, where I am excited to talk about Nongshim's K-Army Stew. So, full disclosure, and I always mention this when applicable, I've tried this one before. Back when I got my Korean noodle variety pack from Cocoyam, may they rest in peace because I think it's safe to say their website is dead. And the idea for this channel was just a tiny little seed in my brain. I accidentally ripped a bag of this K-Army Stew open while putting it away, and so I ate it. But I knew eventually I wanted to give it a proper review because I do love Nongshim products and because this is just an interesting concept as a food to me. So the day for that proper review is today. It's been almost a year since I last ate this. Before we get into all of the ingredients, let's talk price. These are a little more premium priced than your basic Nongshim noodles, with a 4-pack currently going for $12.59 at YumiBuy, and around $7 to $10 if you look out and find this at your local supermarket. Even some Walmarts carry this, which is how I bought this pack, or in the neighborhood of $14 on Amazon when it's in stock. There is currently asshole third-party sellers on Amazon trying to get upwards of $25 for a 4-pack of these. Don't give them your money, please. This also comes in a bowl form for under $3, which I see all the time at my local Asian grocery store. So this K-Army Stew is apparently a take on a Korean dish called budae jjigae. Now, from what I've learned, yes, that translates to army stew, and is the result of South Koreans supplementing their food with whatever was available from American military bases back in the 1950s. So what you would end up with was a spicy Korean hot pot augmented with things like canned beans, Spam, hot dogs, Vienna sausages, processed American cheese, that kind of stuff. And the practice of combining these ingredients into budae jjigae has continued to this very day. And this packaged product reflects the history of this dish. I hope I got all that correct, and as always, please let me know if I screwed something up in my research. Anyway, the reason I'm excited about reviewing this is I already use some of this stuff when I make my own Shin or Shin black noodles for myself, specifically the Spam and cheese plus a shitload of green onions. And they work really well with the spices in that broth. So naturally, I'm here to let you know whether or not this K-Army Stew is a more robust soup base to complement those ingredients. I will also mention that the internet is very sharply divided on whether or not this is any good. So I will do my best to describe the flavors because my opinion of this may be wildly different from your own taste and experience. Before we open it up, our usual sodium check shows 2,020 milligrams or 88% of your daily allowance for the whole package. Pretty much in line with Nongshim's other products, but it is high, so be warned. 2 servings, yeah, right. So inside we have the round noodle block, a bit more yellow and denser than regular Nongshim noodles. We've got a powdered soup base packet and a flake packet. Now, this is a fairly sizable flake packet compared to some of our other reviews, but it doesn't have all that stuff in it that I talked about in the intro. What we do have in here is chili pinto beans, some dried fish cake, green onion, chili pepper rings, and dried kimchi flakes. I don't have the bowl version to compare right now, but from what I can tell from the internet, the ingredients are the same and you're not necessarily getting any extra goodies beyond the convenience of the packaging. Also of note is that these are not Nongshim's normal noodles, but rather they are enhanced with potato starch for a chewier bite. And while this is spicy beef broth here, the beef flavor is artificial, so this whole thing is pescatarian safe. Now, I'm not going to add all that other stuff that I talked about for this video because there's just so much that could go in here that I feel like it's probably worth its own separate recipe video some other time. But rest assured that just about any of the stuff I mentioned earlier is almost guaranteed to taste great in this. Right now, I just want to focus on the base flavor of this package. So it is cooking time. And here we go. So just FYI, the package recommends cooking these 4 to 5 minutes, depending on how firm you like your noodles. These went for 4 minutes because I like my noodles firm, so my review will be based on that cooking time. The initial smell of this is noticeably different from other spicy Korean soups I've had. It's got a very strong smoky quality that I think must be gochugaru or possibly paprika or both, and whatever other spices are in here. And it gives it kind of a hot dog chili bean smell, and there's a little mild aroma of seafood from the fish cake. I really love the way this smells, but last time I made this, my wife walked by the stove and asked if I was cooking cat food. So there's that divisive quality I was talking about earlier. All right, there's lots of individual things to taste here, so let's get to it. Get some chili bean. Here's the fish cake I was talking about. All right, let's talk about spiciness. While the flavor, I think, is more robust in terms of seasoning than your standard red chili broth, I don't find it quite as hot. There is red pepper in here. See it right there. But there's also a hard shot of black pepper in here and chili powder and that smoky flavor. It's funny because, yeah, you see this red pepper in here and some of this kimchi, but really it's more medium spice than you might anticipate. So I'm going to call this a 5 out of 10 on the spicy scale. It's still hot, but I've had worse. Now, like I talked about earlier, the noodles are noticeably different from other Nongshim noodles. That potato starch is not only sucking up a lot of this broth, but it also gives a really terrific plumpy chewiness to the texture, as advertised. This pairs perfectly with the thickness of the broth and the texture of the various dried ingredients. And I think these deserve a 9 out of 10. Why not a perfect 10, you might ask? Well, based on my previous adventure with this pack, I actually think they suck up a little too much of the broth, in my opinion. You can see that this is intentionally portioned so that there's less broth in here than you would expect from a soup. It is a stew, after all, but I think these just absorb a little too much of it so that you don't get to taste as much liquid broth as you might like. And now the overall flavor. The smokiness that I smell in the beginning is very much evident with every bite. It's great. It's not overwhelming any of the other flavors. I can still taste the chili, the garlic, a little ginger, a lot of black pepper in each bite. But that great smokiness is there behind every bite, almost reminding me of an American chili powder. But the best part of this whole experience is the dried flake packet, and it really, really shines here. These beans taste like decent canned beans. The little flakes of kimchi in here are a perfect cabbage texture. The fish cake is sweet and tender and reasonably fishy. If you've ever had imitation crab meat, that's about what they taste like, but with a less flaky texture. All these flavors aren't just there when you get lucky and find a piece of something on your spoon, but they're in every slurp of the broth too. This is so close to a perfect 10, except it's just a hair too salty, I think. The more I ate last time, the more apparent it was. But yes, instant noodles are a salty mistress, and so I really can't find anything else to complain about, other than I think I might need a nap when I'm done with this. This is dynamite. It's like a fishy junk food spicy noodle bowl in the best possible way. This is a very subjective but enthusiastic 9.5 out of 10 for me. Once again, I am blown away by the variety of flavors in this. All of the add-ins I talked about in the intro would be a great way to supplement this, but this stands on its own because of that flake packet. You can easily make this a meal without adding anything else to it because it's already got you covered with those beans, kimchi flakes, fish cake. But if you want to make it more of a meal, its flavor will pair well with so much stuff that you've likely got something in your fridge that you can throw in here to make it even better, like a leftover hot dog or a slice of Kraft cheese. Whether or not you will like this requires a little introspection on your part. If you already like spicy Korean soup, you're halfway there. Do you like beans? Do you like fish? Do you like smoky food? Alright, are you adventurous enough to eat all of those things together? If you can answer yes to all of that, then buy this. If you don't like beans or fish, this is probably not going to work for you. I saw someone on Reddit a while back say this tasted like dog food, and another one who said it smells like feet. And I think that's really just an aversion to the beans and the fish together, and that's just like your opinion, man. So if the thought of it makes you gag, then ignore my 9.5 score and there will be no hard feelings. Personally, I love the ingredients in this, and I'm going to be adding an egg and a slice of Spam when I turn off the camera. Way back the first time I tried this, I wasn't entirely sure that all these flavors and ingredients would go together, but I am still a believer, And clearly the last 70 years of culinary history are on my side here. So please let me know in the comments if you love this kitchen sink approach to food as much as I do, or if you're a consummate chili bean hater. And please also remember to like and subscribe so that we can continue on this noodle journey together.